Good afternoon. Again, my name is Kathy, and I was released on November 2nd of 2020. Due to my drug use and bad behavior, my kids didn't want nothing to do with me. My family was angry. Thankfully, thankfully, my brother never gave up on me. He told me when I got out that my kids wanted nothing to do with me, not for me not to set myself up for failure. I didn't know what to say. I did not know what to do, but I still reached out and texted my kids. I let them know I was out. Some of them didn't want nothing to do with me. Some of them reached out, but the ones that reached out were still cautious because of the things that I've always showed them. And I don't blame them because I did put myself in that predicament. I realized that if I want my family back, if I want my kids to forgive me, I had to forgive myself first. I had to respect their boundaries, and I had to oh, understand that they have a right to be angry. I couldn't be mad at them for being mad at me. It's important and to know that our conversations and visits are on their terms so they know that I have changed. I respect their terms and boundaries. It's hard sometimes because the mother instinct wants to jump in and give advice or tell them how it should be done or what not to do. But I couldn't because I also didn't want to allow myself, hold on. I didn't want to allow myself to be hurt because of their response because I wasn't there. So one of their responses could be, well, what gives you the right to tell us? So I protected myself. Reunification with our family is very important. It's very fragile also. I'm thankful that I had my brother to point me in the right direction when it came to them because he was the one there for them. So he knew how they felt and he knew how I felt. I owned my mistakes. I admitted my faults. And on Mother's Day weekend last year, my kids asked me to go to lunch. I got to see my grandkids. First time in 10 years, I got to see my daughters and sit at a table and eat with my kids and grandkids. It wasn't easy to get to that point. There were a lot of tears, still are, a lot of pain, a lot of hope, and a lot of doubt. Women, oh, women that get out of prison have a lot of guilt, shame, and a lot of them have confusion. They need someone to walk them through the reunification process. Some will be rejected, but it's only for a moment. It's important that someone else can help with those feelings of being scared to reach out and to help them understand. It might not happen right away. We all want instant gratification. Sometimes I just needed someone to listen or a shoulder to cry on. And at other times, they were happy tears, and I just still needed someone to tell it to, someone that I could trust and not judge me. Sometimes sometimes I didn't need advice. I just needed someone to listen because because I had a support team, my mentor, Bridges Reentry, my brother, and first and foremost, God, and my dedication and determination, I have reunification with my kids. I text them every morning, every night, and throughout the day, most days. Even if they don't respond, I still do it because they see it. My kids are now proud of me and they tell me so. They've even gone to church with me at St. Peter's. Everyone's reunification process will be different. So it's important that we love ourselves. And if we have trouble doing that, that others love us until we can. We must show our family that we have changed because I know that I've told them that I've changed many times and never really did. I show them now and they see it. Reunification starts with us. These are the steps that I took. 1, I got clean. 2, accepted that it was my fault. 3, I owned my mistakes and faults. 4, I respected their terms and boundaries. 5, I put it into action. 6, I did not give up. And 7, I took one day at a time. I had to remember that even a little progress is a win. It will look different for each person, but we all hope for the same outcome. This is what worked for me, and it is bumpy at times. Knowing and understanding that I am not alone is a big factor in being strong enough mentally to help me get through it. If I got out and didn't have that support, I don't know what would have happened with my reunification, or better yet, with me, period. But I am pleased to say that I do have reunification. I'm invited to birthdays, holidays, and just get togethers. I'm even asked to babysit my nieces and nephews for weekends at a time. I thanked my brother for trusting me, and he told me that he's happy that he can. He said that I have a gleam in my eye that I have never had. Then he left me the weekend. He left for the weekend along with my sister and my oldest niece. So therefore, I was left with 10 nieces and nephews. And my daughter and grandkids came over for dinner that night. And not because they felt like they had to, they wanted to. That was one of the best days. That was one of the best days since I've gotten out, because they came to see me and not because I was just there because I was at my brother's. Thank you for listening to a piece of my story about reunification. Mentors are important. They are needed to remind us that it's okay if we are scared, or if it's taken longer than instant gratification. Not everything will happen like we want it to, or when we want it to. But if we don't give up and we love ourselves and others love us, it will happen. We might have to be reminded, some more than not, to be patient and take one day at a time. I was one that had to be reminded quite frequently. Look where I am today. Thanks for wanting to be a mentor and not judging us.
Mhm.